Sometimes some of the best things in life are the result of just kind of dumb luck. And that was basically what happened with me and the recipe that I'm going to share today. I have a sweet potato casserole that is sure to be wiped out on your Thanksgiving table. And it's the result of someone not knowing what they were doing. Hey, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Hope, and I am the main chef here in the Savvy Saver kitchen. Well, I'm the only chef because my husband cooks with one finger to dial the microwave. So he is happy to let me do the cooking, and I'm happy to do it as well. Years ago, when Michael and I first got married, fresh out of college, his first full-time job was with a big company that was a production builder in North Carolina. And we were invited to the company Thanksgiving dinner. Only I didn't sign up for the dish that I ended up bringing. In my household, we have this thing called being voluntold, and that is when somebody volunteers you for something that you didn't really have a voice in. Well, that was the case for me. Michael had signed me up, or he voluntold me to make candied yams for the Thanksgiving dinner for the company. I didn't know what I was doing. And we didn't have Pinterest or YouTube back in the day. So I searched as many recipes as I could. I just kind of did some guessing. And I came up with a couple of things that I have incorporated into my sweet potato casserole rather than candied yams that really makes this dish completely irresistible. And every year, if I think about omitting it from the menu, I get vetoed. So I'm going to share it with you today. And there are two things that I do that are going to make this completely irresistible. So for starters, typically, if I'm just going to do a recipe for just our family, I would start with a small bag, a 2 to 3 pound bag of sweet potatoes. And I prepare them differently than what most people do. Generally, most people will peel them and boil them, but I don't do that. I put the whole potato in the oven and bake it just like I was doing a regular standard baked potato. What happens when you bake it in the oven like that, though, is that it caramelizes the interior of the potato, and it just makes it so much sweeter, and it's almost like it already has sugar in it. So we are going to add some to the recipe, but this is the first key thing that I do to get ready. So once they have baked, and you'll know that they're done when you can squeeze the potato and it is soft to the touch. Trust me, you want to make sure that when you take them out, you allow them to cool, because if you're handling them with your hands to peel them, then you want them to be nice and cool. A little bit warm is okay, but you can burn yourself if you're not careful. Okay, now that we have all of our potatoes peeled and in one bowl together, this is going to give me roughly 5 to 6 pounds of potatoes, which is going to be pretty much double what our recipe calls for. So this is basically going to be at least a double recipe, which is going to fill up the casserole dish that I have. So what I want to start off doing is just mashing up. I don't have a potato masher, so I'm just using a large serving fork, and I'm going to roughly mash this all up. I prefer my sweet potato casserole to be a little bit on the chunky side, so not super pureed. I guess you could say it's a little bit of low effort, but I do like just the randomness and the variety of the bite when you bite into something, and parts of it are really soft and some of it has a little bit more of a slight bite to it. Not crunchy or hard by any means, but just you can taste the whole sweet potato. I guess it's a little bit like preferring chunky peanut butter sometimes. If you're a chunky peanut butter person, you know what I'm talking about. There we are, roughly mashed. And to this point, I am going to add in 1 cup. I have 2 sticks of butter in here that I attempted to soften. I went a little bit too far, but that's okay. If you completely melt it, it will be obviously just fine. So we are just going to go ahead and add in all of our ingredients. So that was 1 cup of butter. We are going to add in 1 cup of sugar, because again, this is a double recipe, and 4 eggs. I'm going to scramble those up just a little bit. It's okay if you see separation. You just want to roughly scramble that. And this is a really low effort recipe here, because all you basically do is put all your ingredients in a bowl and then put it into your casserole dish, and then you make your topping, of course. So then I'm going to add in 1 teaspoon of salt, a half a teaspoon of ginger. This is powdered ginger. You could use fresh ginger if you want. I just don't have any grated. We're going to add in a teaspoon of cinnamon, and a half teaspoon of nutmeg. That's about a half right there. I'm going to blend this up just a little bit. Okay, we are going to add in about 3 tablespoons of maple syrup and about 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, and 1 cup of milk, or half and half if you have that. Next, mix that just a little better.
And now for that second special little element is in this recipe going to be 1/3 of a cup of bourbon. If you're making a single recipe, you're going to use more like a 1/4 cup.
A couple of days ago, I got interrupted, which often happens in the kitchen, right? So I went ahead and put the sweet potato casserole in the freezer. So it's currently in its final container. And as you can see, it's been frozen already. But there's a note that the topping needs to be added to it. So here I am mixing up that topping. So I first started out by taking 1 stick or a half a cup of butter and chop that up into little small cubes and set that aside. And then in a mixing bowl, I have mixed in 2/3 of a cup of flour, 1 cup of brown sugar, a teaspoon of cinnamon, and I'm going to whisk that all together and then add in those little small chunks of butter. Then I used my pastry blender to blend that up just to a chunky consistency, just so that that butter is not necessarily completely incorporated, but it's just kind of spread out throughout that flour and sugar and cinnamon mixture. Then I'm going to add in my pecans. I've doubled this. I normally would use 1 cup of pecans for a typical recipe. I'm adding 2 cups of pecans because I want to cover the entire top of the casserole. So once I have blended all of that together, you can see it's a little bit chunky from the butter. There's lots of pecans spread out throughout. And so part of it seems kind of grainy, but when you go to add that to the top of your casserole, it'll all spread out and you'll be able to kind of even it out. Then I'm going to take that mixture and I'm going to put it in a gallon size Ziploc bag. I'm going to mark that bag with what the casserole is, what this is in the bag, and that it needs to be added to it.
Then I'm going to slide that gallon-sized container with a topping inside my frozen casserole dish, and it's ready.
I just want to be sure that I put it in the refrigerator on Wednesday morning, so it's got a full 24 hours to thaw. Then once my turkey has come out of the oven on Thanksgiving Day in the morning, I've got some room in the oven then to cook this casserole along with the green bean casserole and finishing up the cornbread dressing. So there, friends, is my 2 special ingredient voluntold sweet potato casserole. Those 2 key ingredients are going to be sweet potatoes that you have baked in the oven beforehand, so they're nice and almost pre-sweetened. And then you're also going to add in 1/4 cup of bourbon if you're doing a single recipe. Obviously, I added a little bit more than that for this recipe because I was doubling it. But those 2 things make this absolutely irresistible in our household. So give that recipe a try, whether it is for Thanksgiving or another occasion throughout the year. I really believe you'll like it, and I would love to hear how it turns out for you. So I have a little bit of a mess in the kitchen to clean up right now, and I'm going to get on that because I'm about to jump on a call with some friends from the Savvy Saver Collective and the Gut Reset, which are 2 different communities on the Skool platform. Great friends that I have made throughout my time on there. If you are interested in making ferments or joining in on the community and just sharing baking joys, challenges, and budget-friendly ideas, then join us in the Savvy Saver Collective Skool community. It's linked in the description below. We would love to have you come join us. The standard community membership is free right now, so take advantage of that and come check out what we have going on. That's it for today, friends. Until the next video, you have a blessed day, and you might want to check out this video here.